one day, whenever she like does something bad or gets like breaks something or gets in trouble, I'm like, look, you gotta open it up. We gotta go to the Coke Museum. We go to the Coke Museum. And then I also got Sprite socks. So that's cool. So yeah, and then we got Coca-Cola Tic Tacs. So Peter, I want you to try one. Okay. Tell me. We just opened it. I gotta see what it tastes like. I can't try it because ever since I had COVID, my taste was ruined. So what does it taste like? Oh damn, crunchy Coke. How is it?
Sugary Coca-Cola.
Is it like Coke?
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't want that many. Okay, alright guys. Let me try this Tic Tac with it on. What a minty.
It is a cherry. It's just a cherry.
That's pretty good. Okay, get that. So, anyway, guys, yeah, so that's what we bought at the Coke Museum. Do not go to the Coke Museum. It's not fun. Even if Coke paid me to say good things about it, there's not one thing I could say that was fun about it. Like, literally, the gift shop. No, the gift shop was fun. But, I mean, nobody wants to actually buy shit like that. Anyway, I'm just stupid. So, back down to it, guys. There's nothing fun. You wait in line outside. You go inside to wait in line. To then sit. The 15-minute Coca-Cola ad, I think, ruined it for me. And that pissed me off. They signaled it.
The worst part was the people behind us were into it. They loved it too much.
You literally sit in a movie theater and watch an ad on Coca-Cola. It's not like they show you a fun documentary of how Coke was made or the founder or like the history of the bottling. Nope. It's just people skydiving and people getting married and troops coming back with Coke, and you're like,
yeah, Coke.
No, I get it. You're Coke.
That's why we're here.
You don't see Pepsi doing like a fucking museum saying Pepsi halftime show. We are Pepsi, but we're Brad's drink.
We're Brad's drink, baby.
Hey, fucking Brad.
Remember Brad?
Brad's our fucking boy. No, Coke. It would make you. And then you walk through the vault. You do get to taste drinks from around the world, but what I think they do is they just grab Sprite and Fanta and piss in it and say, "Look, this one,
it's from Spain."
Same thing. And then you walk out. I hate it. But see, you heard me too. We're gonna chill. What is?
I thought it was 10 out of 10 worst place I've ever been to.
What is it? If Lily's punishment is to go there, do you think she'll never do anything bad?
Yes, but I'm not going to be the one to take her there, because I would be torturing myself.
See, and that's the problem. That's what we can't figure out. You know, who is going to keep taking her to the Coke Museum every time she gets punished? Because
they won't get punished.
I swear to God, if she's like a really bad case, she's gonna have there's gonna be a Coke shirt with the year on it every year. 2022.
The museum was basically about Coke just bragging about itself the entire time. It was all like, yeah, look at me, look at us, look what we have, and then it was like, at the end, the taste test I was really excited about, and then you go to taste everything, and I don't think you guys understand how bad people drink taste.
The whole thing's awesome. And I know you're thinking, what did you guys expect? It's a Coke Museum. It's gonna be nothing but Coke. I don't care. I love it. I just thought I was gonna be able to type my name on a bottle or do some customization shit. I thought I was gonna try Coke around the world. Not fucking Bangor, Icy, or whatever the fuck they were. I don't know what that was. And there was just nothing to do there except walk around when I feel like they could do a lot more fun shit. Like, they should have fucking Coach the Bear running around, dancing, and taking pictures of fuckers. Like, they should be fucking, the Coke bottling thing. You should be able to see Coke be made, bottled in front of you, and you grab it.
Yeah, and then you grab it.
Like, yeah, you should be able to see all the ingredients, these big stuff. Fucking, it's put into a bottle. It's like fresh goddamn Coke, right? Like, they should be able to do some cool shit. It's lame. Have you guys ever been to Coke Museum? How was it? How long ago did you go? Because it's very important. We went 2022, okay? So, maybe back then it was cool, but right now, it's the worst place to live.
Yeah, it was just not fun at all.
So, Lily, you're watching this, and you're wondering why you're going to Coke Museum so many times? Because you're a bad kid. But if you're a good kid, you go to the aquarium.
Ooh, I always wanted to go there.
Yeah, well, oh, I think after going to the Coke Museum one time, she's done.
First time she was like, wow.
Yeah, the first time she was like, oh.
It was second thing so bad. Second time, she did like just look at the fountain drink and then what did that make?
Yeah, no, she's gonna hate the fountain drink part too. I think, no, when she goes, this is the first time she goes, you gotta show her the gift shop. Right.
Oh man.
And then when you say, well, now you don't get to have that fun.
She's gonna be weird too.
No. Every time, and here's the thing, the more we go, like, let's say about fourth time going, that's how many times she has to sit through the movie. So, the 50-minute movie, when everyone leaves the theater, we would stay in the theater for 4 times. I don't know what. So anyway, guys, that does it for this vlog. We'll see you guys later. And let us know if you've been to the Coke Museum. Let us know if you know where to get some Brad's drink. We want to try that.
I heard meow.
Life-destroying amounts of bass. Mate, it's the Skull Candy Crushers. And Crushers is right. People assume that I just hate things because they're not about guns for you. It's not about hearing music the way the artist intended. It's about that big stupid bass. Personally, I'm all for it. Anyway, it's the experience of music digitally, mate, I'll take it. Skull Candy Crushers have been on for a while. I think the first ones actually took AA batteries. At the time, I remember saying that they're built pretty good, except for the fact that they don't swivel, which is dumb. Harry's face forwards, right? So good headphones swivel a little bit. These no, and the ear cups pinch, they don't fold flat enough. And so, yeah, I found it very uncomfortable. It's made because my head's huge. Back then, a lot of people tuned in and say that they tended to snap in half. So no, not actually feel all that good, and they're not comfortable at all. There's the magical bass slider. Literally, it's a bass slider, normal bass. You drag it up. My regular is B, which sucks. Doesn't matter, things are the old ones, you find out. And it feels vibrating in there. You have to tension, like a diaphragm or something. So I believe the way that's doing is it's got a speaker in there that's doing the bits to the top end, and it's got something in there that's just doing the smashing. I hope you hate your speakers, by the way, because what you're going to hear in a second, like people reported in to say that it upset their speaker systems. I guess if you have it too loud. Like, we've got to compare against the Hertz 600s. We've got to run through the freakish ears on a stand. I'm not going to touch the volumes. You think you're going to get it as is. Someone told me that it upset their speakers. Oh, silly me. I forgot to put it on Axe Whack. Mulligan, let go again.
Oh my god. Like,
Unbelievable. Literally unlistenable. Literally unlistenable. I can't do it. Isn't that incredible? It reminds me of a cheap subwoofer in the boot of a Ford family. Hey, I've got no other sets of headphones that do this for me. But the same way I love my high-end ones that are just really revealing and show me details, so I love these. Because, like, you put them on your friend's greasy head and just sweep them. But yeah, they're not built that good, and they're really uncomfortable and unlistenable in the top way. Well, that doesn't matter, mate, because there's new ones. I mean, these came out back in 2020. Good year. Never forget it. The Skull Candy Crusher Evos. Now, right out the gates, these are built so much better. So much. They swivel both ways. Look, you can lay them down that way or that way. No headphones you can do that. It's actually nice. Apparently people's hair gets pinched by like this silicone whatever bit. Not super deep ear cups, but they fit really nice. These are actually comfortable. Really good physical buttons, no crappy touch ones. There's the slider. That has not gone away. Oh, USB-C. Oh, USB-C, thank you. Hey, Apple, suck in. You have to do this soon, you know? And no one's complaining. pointing at you. I think these actually look good too. Something I've liked about these is they're very understated. Like, you imagine just ridiculous sticky bass headphones to be like bright red or puke green, like to be very ostentatious. But no, you're just destroying your hearing and privacy. This does have like fancy settings where like you go in and track your hearing and I never think of this stuff. I never like EQ. Whoever the headphone sounds, whoever they sound for me. But before we do the stinky bass, gotta hear the normal stuff. Just like with the first ones, with the bass all the way off, they're fine. They do have extra top end bass. It's very cool. You know, they got that V thing going. People like that. These are fine. I would happily sit with these on, you know, watching Netflix or YouTube stuff. That's modern audio for you. It's like it's quite a well-known recipe. The hearing range of humans. You know, the real audiophile stuff. It feels like it's going out further, or the instruments are more separate and all that. But honestly, most people would be really happy.
I hope we don't lose power or internet. I feel bad for what Montgomery's pulsing out though right now. I wonder where they go.
Maybe his mom reached back. It's like I said in the original video. That's not how these sound exactly, because these literally vibrate against your greasy head. And so up against a microphone, it's going to create strange distortions and whatnot. But I mean, that said, these literally are unlistenable on the absolute max, whatever. I can't listen to them with any sort of volume that lets me hear any other part of the music. It's just so much. These, I can listen to them, but as I said, they sound different. Like, these have way cleverer vibrating whatever's going on inside. When I tap them, they don't make a noise like these do. But I find these vibrate way more. So this actual bass frequency stuff destroying music. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still really bassy. But it's the sensation that sounds. I think the new ones are way more. My analogy, like this is like a cheap subwoofer that moved before fairly. This is a small direct level of music to that. This sounds way harder when you're actually on the max rack, which I can stand. You can actually hear all the other parts of the music. It's a way bigger experience. Even if it doesn't seem in this video, in person, these are way more fun. That's exactly how I like it to be. When I'm still there, actually blasting through such a niche of low bass settings that totally cool. And these are regular Bluetooth headphones that we've used assistants, and they've got microphone. Let's hear the microphones. Self-medicated by drugs for pain, and it turns out I've just kind of gone on a bit of a stoop and I've just set up my people's backyard and started like listening out of a small Bluetooth speaker. I don't know where I am. So the original Skull Candy microphone is not good. That's perfectly typical for Bluetooth things of any kind. Even crappy knockoff cable ones sound better. That's a cable for you, bring it back. And then interestingly, that the Evos are fireworks. Like, fireworks. Why? Why? It's a new one. You proved everything else. USB-C fits really good. Swivel guy, like, you know, better bass response with the slamming hardware being tolerable. And the microphone is good. And yes, they do have audio, which is nice. medication just took it all off, but it'll be fine. Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is a Samsung USB. It's this one. The Samsung USB meter is cardio-based that is designed primarily to sit on a desk and to be and it's slow protocol test.
Oh, this is crazy. Oh crap, the camera broke.
It allows you to adjust the Let's first talk about what you're doing. So it comes in a nice box. It's very simple. There's not much to it. But within the box, you get a microphone. You get a little velvet traveling bag that seems to live alive. You get an owner's manual, and you get a mini USB cable. So you get the appropriate cable to connect to the band. Like I said, it comes with a so you can use scissor arms on it, have this integrated feature that does without just sitting there with it. That's terrific. In the manual, it has some 40 tips.
pretty steady roll off on the bass. And we also have 5 dB bass roll off from 1,000 feet down. So that would hit out the sound as well. And that'll actually reduce a little bit of proximity effect. The microphone sound. So as I get closer, I do this. It's not a huge change. The weird thing about this one is it does come with an integrated stand, which is cool, but when it's in out like this, you can't get it. Now, your first reaction might be to just on that plane. Now when I see this the first time, I thought that was the way it should be. And as I pulled it up, I always see the same reminds me of flowers in this called flowers for lack of a better word. As I fold them up and put them in front, I find this on that window. There's petals in front of the capsule. It changes the sound of the microphone for the worst. And that would make sense because now I'm blocking part of the capsule with these little arms as well as legs in the stand. I feel like it changes the feel. It changes it for the better. So I want to try to find this voltage that's in and get sort of the back of the stick out. I've also got my competitors in this. This is a Yeti. I'm going to put these side by side. The first thing is the size of these two microphones. The Yeti is a big microphone. It's actually quite compact. It's one of the smaller USB microphones that I've used. The Yeti is a different kind of microphone. They are always sort of competitors. The Yeti is the stereo microphone, which means you have a left and right channel. It can be an omnidirectional microphone. You can change how sensitive this microphone is. Whereas the Yeti has a gain sensitivity right on. They both have mute buttons on the front. They both have headphone line on the front. They both have that sound. So listen back. So in that, they're both USB interfaces. But they do have some sound functionality. You'll be able to make sound to the back. You'll be able to put a difference in sound. Right now I have this Yeti sound part of the apples to give you this comparison. So there's a sound comparison between these two popular competitive mics. It seems to me you're playing the USB. Yeah, this is not a angle. Yeah. Let's see. What else can I say about this one? The thing that I find a little bit frustrating about and this is engineering concepts, if you're going to put it in something like a scissor mount, like I have a scissor mount for my main microphone, a scissor mount like this that you can top the microphone from your desk, I think that's a very wise idea, even though it's got this fucking stand that you can't close. And the reason I say that is this is in Radio City. There's no shock mount whatsoever built into this. So it's a rigid stand. So when you're typing in the you're just giving it a very gentle type. So this is an example. Having a scissor arm that's up out of the way, just that's the kind of scenario. So, overall impressions and also, so overall impressions seems to be tentative. Because it's still not in love with USB, right? I still think that the USB sound itself, because the price which fits in, I mean, it's always going to be less satisfactory than a dedicated piece of hardware that's just a microphone and just a device. That said, I will say that roughly half the price of the Yeti, the sound difference between the two isn't that significant. So if you really want to use the argue with that, you want to get the Yeti microphone, you don't need necessarily integrate the other direction. You don't need to go there that way. Spend the to into the same thing. So, sound is very much on the hardware. It's a lot smaller. And I think the sound is comfortable with it. If you're going to be doing recording, I think the bigger conversation can improve the sound. But it does have USB-C. Set just right. I think that there is a real opportunity here in this microphone. It's still a USB microphone. So when you want to upgrade your microphone and go to an exploration, you can buy that interface. So there's that trade-off. There's you get down to $70 for a microphone. Cheap out there, buttons and knobs. It has a plastic. Even though the microphone itself
What kind of backbone would make a participant
solid. It's got a spinny metallic sound. It's just my impression of it. But if you're not going to be doing for critical recording, then badly. Because I prefer it over the Yeti, size-wise, functionality-wise. Omnidirectional sound. I wish it had a gain knob on
How much more is coming?
It's just kind of splashing up. I can't close this window.
Here, put a little sound.
Pleased with it. And this is not sponsored. This is a neat microphone. I bought this to see how it would sound. To see if I can use it as a travel microphone. Maybe for auditions. Yeah, maybe. It just doesn't. It's not that USB sound. It's just. But you take away from it, you think it sounds like that's right for you. In my view, works like for me, this is as good as this might be a sound. Given my constraints, I mean, figuring out $30,000 recording this is as good as this is going to sound. And it falls just a little bit short. Voiceover business is but for your everyday recording or imaging and stuff like that, yeah, this might that'll work. And given it, you get the chance to evaluate the way it sounds. It's got some personal. Because of its immediate, that's not in the full paper, it just sounds absolutely wonderful. And I'm also finally starting to play around with dynamic microphones, which are really vocals that require actual sound pressure waves to detect sound, and therefore it's really good for untreated rooms because, we're going to take all this stuff and not necessarily pass into the dynamic microphone versus condenser microphones, which are a lot more sensitive, so really good for high frequency, clear vocal stuff, and of course, instrument equipment. So microphone-wise, I got the new PO7 kit from Deal in white, dynamic mic that I'm definitely going to keep it. If you Razor stuff, the Siren V2X condenser that absolutely surprised me, and the V2 Pro that is a dynamic mic for slightly more money, but still with a horrible bass. HyperX G-Smart Broadcast XLR condenser, and the super well reviewed. Their budget mic, the Duocast USB-C connection, and the two with batteries for an affordable $9.99. Their Sonar is my most expensive mic here, and is active dynamic, so it actually requires spending power because of the built-in amplifier. And it's also connection with my USB. Still being ABM sounds excellent, although very expensive. Elgato is smart and microphone. Really curious to see which I like more versus my waves. Necessarily going to treat it space and look into the direction where I get the least amount of echo when I'm doing these recordings. Most microphones have different texture and vocal pickup for different voices. So regardless of how it sounds for me, like or not, just keep in mind it will sound different to others. I mean, this new thing is something else. Regular and reverse models available to create a clean look without compromising the air for direction. Like these model fans are set to dictate but look like the rest of the fans on the enclosure. It's brilliant. If ever daily chain with snap-on bridges, and all these bits cover up the ugly, so you never have to worry about the looks or cable management if it's just one cable. This is what the dirt, pretty performance fan should look like. Your fan. Alright, so to set the stage, this is the Wave 3 microphone from Elgato. It's been my go-to daily microphone for all types of voiceover recordings, calls, etc. It is a USB-C microphone. I do love modularity and both controls you get right from the front of the microphone, so I don't need to necessarily have anything running in the background for software to modulate the gain as well. And it has just have to functionality at the top. This is a condenser microphone, so if you're trying to avoid room noise from space in the background, you have to reduce the gain very close to the microphone. And I do like the total characteristics of this microphone that's kind of it's like a really nice balance between having just the right amount of bass for my voice, but also this is being a condenser. Anything that you do in the background is going to be picked up unless you apply some sort of compression or the noise gates, maybe noise reduction in the software, in the post production or OBS, for example. That's $99. Makes up my voice. filter inside the actual body, and it also has a removable metal pop filter for additional corrosive protection. On the actual body, we have an 80 Hz switchable low pass filter, so if you want to cut out some of those low hum frequencies, that's awesome. And we also have a frequency pad to just lower resistance. I love the visuals of it too. It's very HyperX, but kind of leaning towards that professional arena in terms of background compression and keystrokes. This is how that sounds while speaking and typing. And the keyboard is like basically right behind microphones. So no, and you're familiar with, we can still hear how they do a good job. And also, my room is not fully treated for sound protection, and also have a window open to give you a little bit more ambient noise. HyperX broadcast. Moving on to microphone that is really exciting to hear, but it sounds a little too dark in this particular. So this is probably more expensive, $350 in this entire roundup. But being at that microphone, the closer you are, the better projection is, and so it will help to clear out room noise, ambient noise, etc. So that's the benefit of it. And microphones also really good for vocals as long as you're dialing your sensitivity right. I do love the red pop filter. You can also swap it out. I love the physical characteristics of this microphone. So you don't shop around and explore the back. This is just basically kind of like a plug and go situation. No need to set up anything additionally. You speak exactly in front. You won't be able to confuse this from trying to speak it from the sides because that's not how the body is positioned. Being a dynamic microphone, let's see how it cancels out all the keyboard strokes in the background. But I will say this is recording in a super modulated pattern, which I believe is slightly more behind the microphone. You saw it, but I think for my voice, I prefer something slightly more brighter, something more lighter. Now, apparently, this thing also has a full magnetic plate right behind the microphone where it can presence. Now, so that right now has been enabled, and hopefully the depth I was feeling in the previous recording is back. So hopefully the presence emphasizes slightly more high end, but we also have a low pass filter for those low frequency hums that disappear. That's microphones, XLR, and USB-C. Of course, I'll be including two of my favorite and most used microphones, the Wave 3 from Elgato. Years ago, I did a somewhat lighthearted video of previous children's drawings. I made jokes about a lot of them. To one that didn't seem like they might have had some sinister backstories. Over the years, I've gotten a handful of kids' drawings with backstories emailed to me. Today, I'm going to be compiling a few of those into this video. This was the drawing made by a 6-year-old boy in 2012. The picture was found in his room by his older sister Tracy, who sent this to me, who was 14 at the time, and she showed it to her parents. In the picture is the family around the dinner table, drawn in a typical 6-year-old still level. The reason Tracy showed it to her family is because she could recognize all the family members at the dinner table, even the family dog and cat. Who she couldn't recognize was the man sitting on the floor kind of behind the table. Tracy said in her emails to me when she was asking her little brother who that man was, he kept shrugging his shoulders and saying he's not allowed to tell. The man was drawn to be dressed in all black, and has reddish-brown curly hair, as you can see. Because of her little brother, to explain who that person in the picture was, she showed it to her parents, explaining that he likely had an imaginary friend or was pretending to be seeing ghosts. After the parents confronted the child at dinner, asking who the man in the picture was, the boy made a pouty face and shrugged his shoulders. He did this anytime they asked, the most detailed answer from his mouth being, "I'm not allowed to tell." The parents, specifically the dad, weren't fazed by it, as really a 6-year-old could draw anything and create some kind of crazy story in their head behind it. Tracy would be responsible for watching her brother often when her parents weren't home. And one day when she was left in charge of watching him, she heard her brother talking to someone in his room. Upon getting to his room, she learned he was just playing with his toy car set on the floor, talking to most likely himself as he played. Tracy asked if he was talking to anyone. He looked at her and shrugged his shoulders again, pouting his face. Tracy had noticed some candies on the floor of her brother's room. A specific kind of green apple flavored candy that she'd never seen her mother buy before. She asked him where he got this, and he ignored her and went back to playing. Tracy took the candies, and that angered her brother, yelling, "Give them back." She waited until her parents returned home to ask if either of them had bought the unusual candy. Since the boy was only 6 and it was summer break, aka receiving the candies at school wasn't even a possibility, random candies appearing in the boy's room became a concern. Even as the boy was scolded and pressed by his parents as to where he got the candies from, he still just made his pouty, angry face and ignored them. The boy was grounded by his father until he would answer the question, so he wasn't allowed to leave his room. The family checked the closets in his room, under the bed, even the closets outside of the room. The idea that someone was inside of the house was out the window. On that same night that he was grounded, Tracy sat close to her bedroom door instead of on her bed, so that she would easily hear if and when her brother in the next room would start talking. Sure enough, when he did, which to know it was way past her brother's bedtime, she jumped up and ran to his room, opened the door, and saw her little 6-year-old brother standing at his open window, talking to a man who looked as though he were about to climb into the room. Tracy screamed for her mom and dad, buzzing the man at the window to flee, and her brother began to cry. Once Tracy told her parents that a man was talking to her brother through his window, the police were called. The boy still refused to talk at first, but with the police there, he eventually said that his friend told him not to tell anyone about him, that he couldn't come and play anymore. When asked his friend's name and age, he said he didn't know. When asked what the two of them would do, the boy said he would come with snacks and candies with him and just play with toys. When asked how they met, he said they met in front of the house one day when the man stopped on his bike and gave him some candy. After offering to come back with more candies and snacks, Tracy's brother told him which bedroom window was his. That's when this started. Submitted to me all the way back in 2015,
This was sent by a mother and two children, a 6-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl. Almost every night between the hours of 12 and 5 a.m., the boy would come to the parents' bedroom crying that he was scared because someone or something was in his room at the edge of his bed. The boy would first thing in his closet to the same spot at the foot of his bed and just stand there not moving. The first few times the parents would check the boy's bedroom just to make him feel better. The closet door would always be open. When questioned why the closet door was always open when it was supposed to be shut, he would claim that it was because he was telling the truth about the thing in his closet. Every time the parents would show their son that the closet was empty, he would go back to sleep. Their 8-year-old daughter never had any similar issues to this. For a few nights, the parents would let him start sleeping in their room on the floor with a blanket. Eventually, though, after this had been going on for too long, the parents decided to humor him one more time and asked him to draw what the thing at the foot of his bed looked like. The drawing sent chills down his parents' spines. In the drawing was some grudge-like figure that seems like it would be enough to give a grown man nightmares, let alone a 6-year-old boy. There also appears to be something at the window. When questioned about this, the boy said that he sees it at the window sometimes too, and it's not at the foot of his bed. The parents' solution to this was moving their son's bed to the spare bedroom across the hall that didn't have any big closets.
Yes.
The mom who submitted this couldn't help but get a little creeped out herself at the drawing, and every time he would come crying to their room.
Nice couldn't have that. We had
This third and
short
last
photo projectors mounted above our small boats.
This was found by the new babysitter of an 11-year-old boy named Rocco in Ottawa, Canada. The babysitter, who I'll refer to as Alyssa, was living while the parents of Rocco were away for a week. According to Alyssa, Rocco was very quiet and kept to himself most of the time. He would stay in his room for the majority of the day. He would only come out to get food from the fridge or to go downstairs to play video games. Alyssa tried to befriend the child the first day, but eventually gave up after realizing Rocco either didn't like her or was just a very unfriendly, creepy kid in general. Alyssa would spend the majority of her shifts doing schoolwork and watching movies. She knew Rocco had an obsession with guns because of the amount of toy guns he had. They would lay across the house in varying rooms, ranging from Nerf guns to airsoft guns to varying types of toy guns. Alyssa had never been in Rocco's room yet then, but one night when Alyssa was having trouble sleeping, she heard Rocco sneak into her designated bedroom. He was just standing by the doorway. She sat up in her bed and asked Rocco if something wrong. Then she just closed the door quickly and she heard him running back to his room. The next day, Alyssa went into Rocco's room for the first time. Rocco wasn't in there and the light was off. This meant he was in the basement playing video games, as those were the only 2 rooms he'd ever be in, according to Alyssa. He didn't even seem to seek hanging out with friends. Sprawled out on Rocco's floor were a bunch of papers. The first piece of paper that caught her attention was this drawing of a handgun. It wasn't anything really alarming, just further demonstrating his fixation on guns. Alyssa dug through the papers, though, and found 4 pieces of paper stapled together with 3 different statements. They formed what could best be described as a story. The first page looked to be the cover page, titled The Babysitter. Immediately, Alyssa assumed this little book was about her. But not wanting to get caught reading, she took pictures of each page of the little booklet, as well as a picture of the handgun drawing, and left the room to go read it on her phone elsewhere. These were the pictures she had taken. This was the second page. Rocco wrote on it. It was a regular day in the house. Mom and Dad brought over the babysitter for the first time. There's something about her that I hate. I think it's how ugly she is. She's a huge nerd. I don't want her in the house. Not sure why my mom and Dad hired her. I think I'm gonna have to kill her. The drawing on the page was supposed to be Alyssa sitting on the couch on her phone. Rocco spying on her through the doorway. This was the next page. It's day 3 and she's still here. Parents think I'm a baby or something. It needs an annoying, ugly babysitter that eats all our food and drinks. In this drawing, Rocco appears to be grabbing a kitchen knife while Alyssa's in the fridge. The child's disdain for his babysitter becomes increasingly apparent in a disturbing manner. The next and last page is by far the worst. It says, "She caught me sneaking into her room. I have to be quieter next time." The picture is quite obviously Rocco holding a knife behind his back while Alyssa lay asleep in her bed. The implications of this picture are beyond transparent. Alyssa returned to Rocco's room while he was still in the basement, and lo and behold found a small kitchen knife on his bedside nightstand. Alyssa sent the pictures of the drawings and knife to Rocco's parents and then called them. First, the parents tried to convince her he must be joking around. They were apparently easily convinced that Rocco could have monstrous intentions. They had Rocco's grandmother take over that same day. Alyssa left the house never informing the police or any other authorities. She accepted her payment for the 2-week stay, and she accepted the parents' apologies, but not without recommending that they take their son to get some serious help. This is a part 2 to my video Children's Drawings with disturbing backstories. If you haven't seen the first one, the link is in the description. The drawings you're about to see were all done by kids. Whether they appear innocent or not on the surface, the stories behind them are what really make them unsettling. This ordinary-looking drawing made by a 6-year-old doesn't appear to have anything that would be any kind of cause for alarm. On the surface, it just looks like a young kid playing in the front of their house. There's tons of smaller details in the drawing, such as his dad raking the leaves, his mom at the window, and a few cars in the street passing by. It all seems like an innocent drawing, but there's a bit of an unsettling backstory behind this. The 6-year-old boy who drew this is a very well-behaved and quiet kid according to his parents. I'll refer to him as Jake. He stays to himself most of the time. His teachers describe him as a well-behaved child, just very, very quiet. He has a passion for drawing. He constantly draws pictures and writes little story picture books. Jake has one sibling who's currently 2 years old. He has included in multiple pictures too. His mother says most of Jake's free time he spends either watching Cartoon Network or YouTube videos or drawing. There was no cause for alarm when his parents found his first picture. Whether there was when they found a more recent picture that Jake had drawn. Here's another picture of Jake in front of the house, but maybe you've already spotted it. In this picture, there is an identical car in the street with the same person sitting inside. This time, it seems Jake is looking at the car in his picture waving. Jake's parents are not seeing this one interesting, but his parents were intrigued now about the car, who the person inside of it was supposed to be. So they questioned him. Jake explained that it was a car he'd always see out front, and that the man sitting inside of it would always smile and wave whenever he saw him. So the next day, Jake's parents took him outside to point out the car, but he said the car wasn't there. In fact, it wasn't for the next few days, until finally, one day while Jake was playing outside, he came running inside to his parents to say he saw the car inside. Jake's parents rushed outside to the front to look, and saw the car speeding away past the house down the block. It was an old silver Buick. Jake confirmed that was the car. It was none of the neighbors' cars. Not much was known. Jake's parents went to all the neighbors and asked if they'd seen that car sitting in the street at all, which all of them replied they had not, that they'd keep a lookout. For a few days, Jake wasn't allowed to play outside unless his parents were there with him. But after the car didn't seem to return, Jake was once again allowed to play freely out front. But one day, he came inside and said that the man in the car was bad. He was trying to get him into his car. Of course, Jake's father ran outside as fast as he could, hoping to get to the car instead. But he saw it already down the block by the time he was outside. He tried chasing the car down in his car, but by the time he even got into his car, there was no way of tracking where the car was. Once again, Jake wasn't allowed outside of the house. The car wasn't seen outside at all for almost that entire week, until one night, unexpectedly, Jake's father was about to take the garbage out. He noticed the car parked across the street. He took out his phone so he could record it, hoping to get the license plate. He tried to slowly get closer to the car without being obvious, but the driver clearly saw him, as the car came down and quickly drove away. Jake's father tried to follow the car and get the plate number, but he couldn't. This was the last time the car was ever seen. The car had clearly been parked outside multiple times, watching the house, even past dark and later hours of the night. The driver of the car, according to Jake, would always smile and wave at him every time they made eye contact with each other. And the last time Jake saw the car, the man inside started begging for him to come over. He even called out for him. Luckily, Jake was smart enough to go inside and tell his parents. It's not clear why the car would be outside even at night. considering the boy leaving the house alone at those hours would be extremely unlikely. Jake's parents brought the video to the police. Without a clear plate number, not much could be done. Jake's father went door to door asking each house in the block if they had cameras that caught the plate number, but he didn't have any good luck. The car never returned after this. But this happened relatively recently, November of 2021, so there's always a possibility that the man may return. The show you're about to see was done by a 7-year-old. The picture itself is disturbing, but the backstory behind it is surprising. To start, the boy's father, Jeremy, sent the story and picture in. Jeremy has 3 sons. Jeremy's mother, Claire, sleeps over a lot to spend time with her grandkids. In Jeremy's words, his mother has always been on the stricter side. That includes with her grandkids. He says that's because she was raised in a stricter household. Jeremy's 7-year-old Tom is considered to be the troublemaker, who acts out against his parents and grandparents the most. So because of this, it often leads to his grandmother, Claire, scolding him. One day while Jeremy and his wife were out of the house, Claire was watching the kids. Something happened between the 2 of them. Tom had hit his little brother and taken a glance at the ice cream bars in the freezer, causing him to cry. And this is commonplace behavior with Tom apparently, as he's very violent with his siblings as well. In response to Tom's behavior, hitting his little brother, his grandma Claire smacked him and forced him to stay in his room for the remainder of the day. Claire told her son that Tom was throwing a fit in his room, throwing things at the walls, and on the floor in anger. Eventually he quieted down. Upon trying to leave his room, Claire once again had to get physical with him to get him to listen. It was likely during this time that Tom drew the picture you're about to see. Jeremy and his wife returned home. They got an earful from Claire about Tom, very angry and distressed. Jeremy and his wife entered Tom's room angrily, ready to scold and punish him. When they opened the door, they were surprised to see Tom with a smile on his face, looking up at his parents. Around him on the floor was his Crayola art supply backpack with various pictures on the floor, along with crayons and colored pencils laying everywhere on the floor. There was one drawing that stood out from the other crumpled up drawings, which Tom handed to his parents, and that was this. The drawing shows what appears to be Tom sawing off his grandma's head, as she already appears to be hanging. To add to the horrific scene, Tom as well as his parents are wearing smiles on their faces as Tom is doing what he's doing. Of course, if there was any shred of doubt as to who these figures were supposed to be, Tom labeled himself, his grandma, and his parents in the picture. Jeremy and his wife were disturbed after finding this picture, as it showed just how messed up their child may be mentally. Jeremy grounded Tom after finding this, but the couple did not show this drawing to Claire. Nothing good would come of showing her the horrific drawing her own grandson made. However, it didn't end there. The next day, when Tom was allowed out of his room to eat breakfast, he told his grandmother at the kitchen table that he hates her and that he's going to kill her. Claire's reaction was one more of shock than anger. Jeremy once again sent Tom to his room. The way in which Tom said what he said was described to me with a hateful smile on his face, as if he were taking pleasure from saying it. Claire left to go home that day. By the time Jeremy sent me this, she hasn't returned to the house. Tom's behavior has apparently always been a concerning and violent side, especially for a child of his age. However, this drawing, behavior towards his grandmother, convinced Jeremy and his wife to start bringing Tom to therapy. The first few meetings, Tom refused to speak, but eventually started opening up more when his parents would leave the room. The therapist says that Tom talks about wanting to hurt his brothers for the things they do, and hating his grandmother and second-grade teacher. Well, I can assume that he at this point is taking day-by-day course. This last the kid is a little older than the others. Some of the drawings were done on a computer. The child who drew the pictures you'll see shortly was 13 years old at the time. The drawings